Hello and welcome to an exciting episode of Nanowrimo Site Navigation. The screencasts are for those who find the website daunting and for those whose name happen to be Darcy. I will not tell you how to sign up. If you haven't figured that out yet, then you really shouldn't be allowed on the internets because inevitably that would just result in more lolcats. At the top you find user login. As you can see, I automatically put in the username of Errol because that's my name, but that's not my username, and for years I've requested this name because it's not even in use, but it's locked in the database and they won't give it to me, but I'm not bitter or anything. Logging on gives you your profile page where you can find all sorts of wonders like your novel info buddies and word count stats, other stuff really only you care about. If you go into your user settings, you can change your password and profile pic, as well as your author info so that you too can pretend you're on Facebook and list esoteric knowledge about yourself and hobbies in a desperate attempt to find friends, or for some of you, a romantic mate. It didn't work for me because my profile pic leans more towards ugly than hot, so hopefully you'll be more successful than I in your wooing adventures. Once you're happy with everything, click submit and then go to My Regions. This is where you set where you are from. If you go to Region tab and search for your town, you can join them. I've already joined 2, the forums I check. Then you can go to Home Region and set which ones you want. Once this is done, you customize forums. This is important because if you were to go to the forums right now, you'd be visually bombarded by an onslaught of discussions ranging from loony to deviant. Now, if you're like me and only really want to harass people, then actually you may want to be part of every forum possible. However, for now, it is good to start small, and in the future, you can delve into the morass of insanity that are known as Nanowrimos. So check everything off, save it, and now click the forums button. Look, it's all clean. Huzzah! Check out your region forum. Look at all the cool information. You can see the MLs, who are very important and will control your life for the next month. To the right of that are events, and you can find stuff like stats. I like stats. I like pie graphs too. Pie. Anyway, at the bottom, you'll find a list of posts made. It is important to note the last reply. That's how you know if they're new posts. It doesn't have a fancy icon to indicate new posts, and you may think, well, aren't new posts at the top? Yes, it normally is, but there are also sticky posts, which are permanently at the top, and there's no indication that they are sticky posts, at least in the forum region. So if you go in and see that the last reply is 5 days ago, it's because no one wants to comment on a sticky post because they don't want to be sticky. But a few posts down is a huge raging debate about narwhals and bacon that's degenerated because of Godwin's law. So much drama. So check out for that. Now let's check a thread out. And as you scroll down, look, it's me, huzzah! You can see all the posts of your fellow writers all gushing about the thought of writing. There are a few ways to view this forum if you find all these words daunting, which would be a bit strange if you like to write. Here I have 30 comments per page. I put the newest post first so I don't have to constantly click, and I have a flat list expanded. That means as the posts come, I can read them. If, however, you wish to avoid reading the rantings of a particular user, for example me, you could choose flat list collapsed. This way the first post is shown and then a list of posts at the bottom, which you could click individually if you wish to be obsessive compulsive like that. The next option you have is threaded list collapse. Same thing, but now the post will be indented depending on whether it is a reply to another post. And finally, you have threaded list expanded, so you can see all the posts in its glory and each reply is indented. Now, if you're feeling that the glut of ways to spam someone is still not enough for your liking, you do have Nanomail. You can find it under My Nanowrimo. Here you can write mail, and when you receive one, the site will announce to you on every page that you have a message. This is good for the likes of me because it takes me about 8 pages for me to realize that someone has sent me a nanomail, mostly because they're offended by something else I said. Again. Anyway, after you ignore and delete the mail, you can also check out notifications. So look, database error, user -2, not found, whatever, how fun. Anyway, if you go to the bottom, you can set the Nanowrimo site to bug you with notifications of nanomail. In fact, there are a whole slew of things you can turn on and off, all for your customizing pleasure. And that's a brief intro, somewhat, on how to navigate this site. I hope that made sense, and have a great month writing a book. And if you're offended or put off by me or wish to tell me that I'm rather homely, well, you're in good company. Bye-bye.